Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic. Don't go by the time here, that is not IST. But anyhow, 2024 it is already, and I really hope all of you get the kind of success that you guys have been dreaming about. If any of you are unable to understand what I'm speaking, please do turn on the CC. Um, it should be right beside the setting where you do your um, pixel setting 120, 144, 240, whatever 1080. Apart from that, today it is going to be a pretty exciting lesson that we are going to learn. In the last class we have learned about the basics, and we've also seen what are variables. In today's class, we are going to take a deep dive into the true power of what an IAC or infrastructure as a code can do for us. For some of you, this may be confusing. This may not be very much relevant or for you to understand. However, I assure you, stick to the end of the class, and I'm pretty sure you're going to understand a lot of moving components that you see on the agenda for today. For anyone who already has a basic knowledge about what is VPC, what is Internet Gateway, custom route table, you guys are most welcome to listen in. Especially you guys should be listening in. For anyone who does not have an idea, in about just a week, we are going to start off our AWS classes. In the AWS classes, we are going to do hands-on with all of these things, and that is when I'm going to in depth explain you everything about what is VPC, Internet Gateway, custom route table, subnet, and how the security groups, how are we going to open up things and whatnot. Today, you are expected to understand the syntax for the HCL code that we are, or script that we are going to write. And you've come to DevOps easy, not DevOps difficult. So here, I'm also going to tell you the shortcuts that you would require to successfully build out all of this in your infrastructure as a code or Terraform. Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker are definitely in demand, and just understanding or having hands-on experience on these three tools is going to get you the dream job that you aspire. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. First things first, I'm on my desktop. Let me go ahead and delete anything that is irrelevant for us. Okay, something did not go down. Not an issue. Let us go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to call this Terraform IAC scripts. Okay, let us now go ahead and open our Visual Studio Code, VSC. Okay, let us go to opening the folder. Desktop Terraform IAC scripts. Okay, here let us go ahead and add a new file. Main.tf is going to be our file. In here, let us go ahead and start writing our scripts. I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly confident that most of you may have the basic idea about this. Even in case you do not understand, you're going to understand everything in just a short while. So have the patience. First things first, it is going to be Terraform provider details that we are going to write. So the provider that I want to initialize is AWS. Giving the profile or not giving the profile, it is going to take default as default. The region that I want to create my instances is US East 1. Done. My provider is done and dusted. For anyone who understands what this is, here is the architecture for it. So this is the traffic. Your traffic is going to hit your internet gateway. You have your route tables. You have your VPC, which is created, and then we have our subnets, which are currently created. And this is AZ1, and this is uh, A and B. This is AZ stands for availability zone A, and availability zone B. All right. Now let us go ahead and do a deep dive into this. First things first, I need to go ahead and create a VPC. Let us go ahead and do the VPC. So I would want to open up my resource, which is going to be VPC, and the calling name is going to be, I'm going to call this prod VPC or production VPC. The CIDR block is going to be 10.81.0.0/16. For anyone who does not understand what is VPC, the first thing that you have to do right now is pause this video and Google what is VPC and try to just understand the first line of it. The intent here is not for you to understand in depth about VPC, but we are for now seeing how can we go ahead and provision our virtual private cloud directly using the infrastructure as a code tool. In our case, it is Terraform. Also go ahead and just try to understand the first line of what is CIDR block on Google that you type. Just try to understand the first line. Even if you do not understand, like I've mentioned, do not worry. We are going to take a look into all of this in depth in just a couple of days. This is going to be your automated version of how to provision your infrastructure. However, in the upcoming classes, when we try to learn AWS, it is all going to be manual, and a lot of explanation will be given there. Instance tenancy is going to be default again. Okay. And the last piece of this puzzle is tags. Let us go ahead and give our tags. The syntax is pretty much what we have been seeing. I'm going to call this prod VPC. Now, this is all done and dusted. Control S, I'm going to save this. Wherever this is, let me go ahead and, okay, main.tf is here. You can open up your PowerShell, you can open up your GitHub, Git bash, putty, winacp, anything that you guys may be comfortable with. What is the first command that I need to go ahead and hit? Tell me. If you've said init, then you're absolutely right. You're following the classes. What is currently happening is we are currently trying to initialize an AWS plugin, which is going to be downloaded. Okay, it is currently being downloaded. Once this is fully downloaded, we should be able to see a success here. And then what is the second command that we need to hit? Okay, Terraform apply --auto approve. This command is nothing but yum install, let's say Java -y. This -y is what this does, and Terraform apply is something that you guys already know of. Approve, done. Let us go ahead and see what is happening. In the meanwhile, let me also go ahead and open my console and show it to you guys what is happening. I hope it doesn't happen by the time that I log in. VPC is what I'm typing. Okay, isolated cloud resources. For some reason, my system is uber slow today. VPCs. Okay, this is the default VPC that you are seeing, ladies and gentlemen. In a short while, okay, one is added, apply is complete. Now let us go ahead and refresh. Prod VPC is the tag that we have provided, and we successfully see the prod VPC virtual private cloud that is currently created, which is this, which is currently here. Now, this is done and dusted. Let us move on to the next task that we have, or the next agenda that we have. So the next agenda that we have is create internet gateway. For anyone who does not know what is an internet gateway, please go ahead and do a Google search. On that note, you may also ask, hey Krishna, this is a practical task that I have at hand. My manager or someone has asked me to go ahead and create a VPC, go ahead and create an internet gateway, but I don't know the syntax. Then what am I supposed to do? The simplest of the answers is write somewhere that you guys already know, which is Terraform AWS. What is it that we are trying to create now? Internet gateway. Create internet gateway. Just type in to the Google, open up a couple of official documentation. And as it is that you can see here, you have your example usage or VPC Internet Gateway syntax, which is readily available for your consumption. What all do we have here? Resource is AWS Internet Gateway. You can give whatever the calling name that you'd like, and we need to also provide VPC ID. I'm going to show that in just a short while, and then we also have to pass our tags. You can simply go ahead and copy this and paste it here and start building on top of it, but I'm going to type it just for the sake of it. Internet gateway. The calling name that I'm going to call this is prod underscore IGW or internet gateway. The next one that I would require is the VPC ID. So the VPC ID is right here, which is AWS VPC dot prod underscore VPC. I'm just going to copy all of this, take off the inverted commas, add a dot here, and also I'm going to add an ID. Now that this is done, I am going to go ahead and open up my tags. The name that I want to call this is prod IGW. Now this is all done and dusted. Control S. Let me now go ahead and apply this as well. What have we just created? We have created the internet gateway. So let me go on to our console and internet gateways. This is where we see the default gateway. Let us wait. Oh, resource one is already added. Let us go ahead and refresh. Prod internet gateway is successfully created. Whatever that you can do with the GUI or graphical user interface, you can comfortably go ahead and do that with infrastructure as a code. In our case, it is Terraform. All right. The second stage is successfully done and dusted. What is the third agenda that I have? I need to create a custom route table. Okay, let us go ahead and do that. Creating a custom route table. I'm going to copy all of this, and in here, instead of create whatever the previous one or previous one was, I'm simply replacing it with custom route table. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the syntax which is readily available for our consumption. The resource that I'm currently trying to create is AWS route table, and this would be the calling name. We need to provide the VPC details, and then we need to provide our route details. Here he has selected a CIDR block, but I'm going to open up everything, and we also need to provide our gateway. This is for IPv4 and this is for IPv6. As it is that you can see this piece here, that is a representation for IPv6. So we can ignore this. For now, we are only working upon IPv4. So let us go ahead and copy all of this syntax and you can either type the entire thing or you can simply copy paste the entire thing. I would rather prefer I mean, whatever comforts you guys, you can go ahead and use that, but I would go ahead and type the entire thing. Route underscore table, and the calling name that I would want to give is prod underscore route table. The next one that we would require, I believe it is the VPC ID. Oh, just got an email. But anyhow, the VPC ID is something that is provided here that we need to provide. And where can I get that information? AWS VPC prod VPC dot ID is what we need to provide. VPC prod VPC dot ID. And we also need to go ahead and give our route table. We have our route table here as well. In the route, we need to go ahead and declare our CIDR block. The CIDR block that I'm going to declare is opening up everything 0.0.0.0 /0. And I also need to provide our gateway ID. Okay. Gateway underscore ID. Let us go ahead and give that. Now, the gateway ID is simply this with a dot in between, except for these apostrophes with an ID extension. AWS underscore internet gateway dot prod IGW dot ID. And that's it. And then we also have our VPC tag is selected dot ID. That's it. Okay, and then we also have our tags. Tags are nothing but name is equal to um, prod underscore RT. Done and dusted. Now I'm going to save this, and this is our route table that is currently created. Okay, well and good. Let us go ahead and apply this. I'm doing Control L, pressing the up arrow and enter. Terraform apply. In the meanwhile, let us go ahead to our route table as well. We have our route tables here. These are the default route tables. One more will be created in just a short while. Let us wait until that is done and dusted. Is it created? We should see a third one with a name that we have defined. Unless there is an error. Okay, what may be the issue? Incorrect attribute value type. Okay, in source RT, inappropriate value for attribute route set of object required. Okay, it says something is wrong with what we have just done. 35 to 38 route is side block gateway ID. Okay, everything looks valid. What else is the problem? Incorrect attribute value, inappropriate value for the attribute route. Route cider block is something that we have given. Custom route table, AWS route table, prod RT, VPC ID, VPC route cider block, gateway ID, prod tags. Everything is absolutely valid. Control S. Let me go ahead and give that another try. Line 35 seems to be the problem, but why? Syntax is all correct. Then why wouldn't this work? Control S. Let me try that again. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what may have gone wrong, but it is pretty much the entire same thing that we have just done. Anyhow, this is how the side block, your custom route table looks like. This is done and dusted. Let us go ahead and validate. Refresh. Okay, our custom route table is currently created successfully. Now, the fourth activity or the agenda that we have is create a subnet. Okay, let us go ahead and create a new subnet. The subnet creation, first things first, is the resource. What kind of subnet? It is AWS subnet. The calling name, what do I want to give this? Prod underscore subnet. That's the name that I would want to give. The VPC ID is going to be AWS underscore VPC prod dot ID. Now that this is done and dusted, let us now go ahead and give our CIDR block as well, CIDR block. And in here, I would go ahead and give my CIDR block 3.0/24. Subnet, done. Tags are going to be my name is equal to prod underscore SN, Control S. This is, let us go ahead and apply. Okay, this is successfully done and dusted. Let us go ahead and check for it. Again, I may have missed to show that to you guys, but this is what we are going to do. Terraform AWS create a subnet. It is going to give you the syntax for everything that you require. We started off with resource VPC ID, cider block, tags, and that's it. Pretty much. That is all that there is. There is nothing rocket science about this. Let us go ahead and access our subnets. Okay, subnets are right here. Let us go ahead and access them. And as it is that you can see, we definitely see the tags which we have provided. And this is the new subnet that is currently created with the IP that we have the cider block range that we have provided. Now that this is done and dusted, let us go ahead with our fifth step, which is associate the subnet with the route table. Associate subnet with the route table. Let us go ahead and do that. Okay. Again, the same formula or the same agenda. We are going to copy paste, put it in Google, and we would see the official documentation for it. Okay. Now, what is it that we are supposed to create? We need to create a resource, subnet ID and route table ID. You can go ahead and simply copy this and make the appropriate amendments or changes, or you can simply go ahead and type the whole thing. In this case, it is going to be AWS route underscore table association. Yep, table association. And the name is prod underscore route table subnet association, subnet underscore association, whatever the random name that you would like, you can go ahead and give. The subnet ID that we have already declared is subnet prod n dot id. Now you may ask a question, hey Krishna, where is this subnet ID? Okay, can you make any kind of relevance here? It is simply this. The subnet is this that we have just created, right? AWS subnet. This is the whole thing that we have copied here with a dot in between and an extension of ID. That is all that I have done. Nothing fancy or nothing out of the blue. Control S, saved it. Let me do Control L and give the command again. Terraform apply, auto approve. Missing required argument. Okay. Is required, but no definition was found. But no, it is already declared. This did not work. Subnet. Oh. I need to also give my route table ID. Oopsie. Okay, route table ID is something that I have missed. Route table ID. It is going to be AWS route underscore table dot prod underscore RT dot ID. As simple as that. Now, where did I get the route table details from? The route table details is something that we have already declared, AWS route table. Let me double click on that. And as it is that you can see, this is pretty much what I have written there. AWS route table, here it is a dot and an extension of ID. So that is how we are going to create or associate our subnet with our route table. Let us go ahead and now apply. Let's see what is going to happen. It is currently creating. Okay, this has been successfully created. For the next piece, I'm not entirely sure if this is some kind of a glitch, but the next activity that I need to go ahead and do is create a security group and attach it. Just create a security group and open up all the ports, including some of these ports. When I go ahead and type it, something is going bonkers. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go ahead and copy the content that I have already created. There is no rocket science. I'm going to explain everything in detail, and all of these resources, you will be able to find it in the comments, in the pinned section of the comments. So don't worry about anything. This is all provided to you guys. So the first things first, create security group to allow a security group. Go ahead and do Google search, and it is going to spit out the official documentation on how to go ahead and create our security groups. And let me first explain you here, and then we'll move back to our script, because this is pretty much the entirely same thing that is there. Maybe it is just the indentation issue, indentation that I may have missed, but it just wouldn't work. The ingress is where I was facing the problem, but I'm not sure if it is the same with you guys, but do give it a try and put it in the comment section. All right. So here what they've done is we are trying to create an AWS security group with some random calling name. And if you want, you can go ahead and give the name, but it is not explicitly important. Description is, if you want to go ahead and give the description, that is totally up to you. Even if you don't want to go ahead and give the details about it, then you can go ahead and ignore. Let me go to security groups. So if you click on this create security group, you would see what is the kind of protocol that you want to use. We want to open up our port 20 at the range something, and the description, if you'd want, you can go ahead and give that description. So this description is pretty much, this is optional. This is optional. If you want, you can go ahead and give. And then we have our VPC ID. The VPC ID is something that we've already seen. That is what we are providing here. He has provided whatever he has created, but we need to provide AWS VPC.prod VPC.id. Ingress is the traffic which is coming in. And where is it coming from? Port 443 to port 443, and the protocol is transfer control protocol. The CIDR block, if you want to give, you can give whatever the CIDR block that you want, but if you want to open up from anywhere to anywhere, then I would recommend that you go ahead and give 0.0.0.0/0. That opens up everything. And egress is the traffic that is going out, and in this he has opened up everything. And this is for IPv6. We can ignore IPv6 for now. And egress is he has opened up everything. In here as well, we have done pretty much the same exact thing. Resource is AWS security group. The calling name is prod or production security group. The VPC ID, you know where to get it. If you double click here, you would see where all we have used. Mostly it will be here. That is where you need to go ahead and copy the information. Since we are already in the sixth agenda, let me once again go ahead and show you. The resource that we've created is virtual private AWS virtual private cloud. So you just have to copy all of this with the dot in between and an extension of ID. You're going to see pretty much the same thing here as well. So it is pretty much the same thing, AWS VPC without the inverted commas, with a dot in between and an ID. The ingress, that first declaration is going to be allow port 22. From port 22 is our SS to be able to SSH or transfer control protocol. Done. And this is all declared. We are also declaring one more ingress, which is allowing all ports from anywhere to anywhere, and -1 protocol is all. That is the meaning of -1. And the CIDR block is everything. We are also trying to open up egress, which is from or to everything. And then we are simply going to give our tags. Let me go ahead and do Control S. Let us successfully go ahead and apply this. Okay, it is currently refreshing the states. Okay. Our security group is currently being created. Let us go back to our security group. Going back. Okay, prod SG is currently created through Terraform. And as it is that you can see, we've opened up all traffic, and we've also opened up SSH, which is port 22. Source anything, and destination is also anything for this, and allow port 22. Done. We have now successfully gone out and created the most of the agenda for the day. The seventh task that we have is create a network interface, or I'm pretty sure in your hardware you may have come across NIC or network interface card. It is pretty much the same thing. We are associating our network interface with an IP in the subnet that was created in here. We are trying to associate our network interface with our subnet. Now let us go ahead and do that. How can I go ahead and do that? Enter. I believe it is task 7. Yep. Task 7, commenting this out. Okay. Create a network interface with an IP in the subnet. Let us go ahead and copy all of this, paste it. We are going to see the syntax for that. We are going to copy all of that and use it for our advantage. So in here, we first have to declare our resource, which is going to be network interface. We also need to go ahead and declare our subnet, private IPs. Please do not type in IP, it is private IPs. Then we have security groups, and attachment you can ignore, and then you can go ahead and give your tags. Let me go ahead and do that. Resource is going to be AWS network interface, and the calling name is simply going to be prod underscore NIC or network interface card. And then we need to provide our subnet ID. That is what I'm currently doing. AWS subnet prod SN or subnet dot ID. And then we also need to provide our private IPs. The private IPs are in the range. Please observe these are in brackets. The one that I would want to declare is this. Let's do 50. Now that this is done, I would also open up our security group or associate it with it. Security group done.id. Done and dusted. Now here, let us go ahead and add our tags. Name is going to be prod underscore NIC. Escape. No, Control S for save and apply this. Okay, incorrect attribute value main line 107 private IP. Okay, I like I've mentioned, it is IPs, it is not IP. Control S, saved, and let me now go ahead and hit it up. This is interesting, isn't it? You directly get whatever the error that you've made, you can directly view it. I believe it is the best feature. And the task, okay, this is successfully done and dusted. We have associated, we've created a network interface and associated with a subnet. All right, now that the 7th piece is also done and dusted, let us go ahead with our 8th agenda. Assign an elastic IP to the network interface created in step 7. Okay, let us go ahead and copy all of this and once again paste it in here. Okay. All right. The step 8 that we have is assigning an elastic IP to the network interface created, that which we have already created. So the syntax is going to be resource, and instead of this, okay, we can go ahead and directly. Okay, here it goes. Resource is this AWS network interface or elastic IP. No, this is something that we would require. Resource is going to be elastic IP, and then we would require to declare our network interface and associate with private IP. This is the task that we have. So only this piece we are going to utilize. Now, the resource that I'm trying to create is elastic IP. Okay, and the name is going to be prod underscore elastic IP. And in here, we need to go ahead and declare our network interface, which is AWS network interface. Yep, the first one itself, .id. Whenever you are in trouble, just double click and view where you've created your network interface. Done. We need to now go ahead and associate with our private IP address. So associate with private IP. In here, it is going to be 10.81.3.50, which we've just declared. And we also have our tags that I'm going to declare. The name is going to be prod underscore elastic IP. Oops, elastic IP. Control S, done and dusted. Control L. Let us go ahead and apply this. The last step is about creating our EC2 instance. Let us also try to declare our HTTPD. Let us also start the service. Okay, Elastic IP is now successfully created. Let us now go ahead and take a look into our how to create EC2 instance with everything that we have learned thus far. Oops, Control C, Control L. Step 9, create EC2 instance. All right. First things first, resource AWS underscore instance. I'm pretty sure you guys are very much familiar with this. INSTNC instance. Okay. The calling name is going to be, I'm going to give this my name. You can give your name or whatever that you may be interested in. The AMI details, where can I get my AMI details? Let us fetch our AMI details. AWS console, get back to our EC2 launch instance. You can select whatever that you may be interested in. I'm selecting Amazon Linux. Just copying the AMI here, inverted commas. The AMI is currently declared. And then we have instance type. The instance type that I would want is t2.micro. Okay. The key name that I have already created is EC2 instances dashboard. Security key pairs. Copy this name. And we need to go ahead and declare our key pair. Now, once this is done, we need to provide our tags. Tags are going to be name is equal to, you can give whatever that you want. I'm just giving Krishna-T or Terraform. And once all of this is done and dusted, let us also go ahead and declare a couple of other things, which is network interface. And in the network interface is device index that I need to give. Okay, it is not in here, but nonetheless, I need to provide my device index. Network interface ID, I need to provide as AWS network interface. Yep, this is the one that we have declared. Okay, here I am also going to pass a couple of values, or using the shebang. I hope you guys remember how to do this. Okay. Here, let me go ahead and give my shebang details. /bin bash sudo yum install -y httpd systemctl start httpd systemctl enable httpd echo hello from DevSecOpsEasy, and amend it to var html, yep, index.html. Done. EOF. Done. Control S. Now apply all of this. The only thing that you may be confused about is this piece here. We are providing the user data here. Whatever that you're seeing here, you can also do that while launching your instance. Launch instance. You know how to select all of that, but that shebang line will go in advance, and at the bottom here, it is in the advanced details. So that is where you generally copy all of this user data information. And whenever the instance is up and running, it will automatically consider your advanced details. And whatever is here is going to be updated. Okay, now let us see. Resource, everything has been appended. Now let us go ahead and see if our instances are currently up and running. Okay, as it is that you can see, our instance is definitely up and running. And we have our public IP here. This is going to take some time because it is still initializing. And then just, oh, it is already here. Hello from DevSecOpsEasy. So in case you have a Terraform requirement and you have a couple of agendas, you are going to completely rely upon Google, and you are going to build your Terraform script. That is all that I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Do not think that I did not explain much of the content today. However, for anyone who already has AWS knowledge, for you guys, everything that we did should have been a piece of cakewalk. For you guys, it is this architecture that you can go ahead and take a reference from. However, for anyone who is just getting started and who has only been following my classes, just hold on to a couple of days more. And in no time, you are going to understand the entirety of this, even without me explaining anything on today's class. However, I would want all of you to come back to this class to understand in a better fashion after we finish our networking class on AWS. Do not forget to go ahead and destroy everything. Done. So we have, what we've done is successfully achieved all of this, and whatever the agenda that we had, we have successfully delivered, and our instances are up and running. In no time, this is going to be terminated. For now, it is still initializing, so this is going to take some time. Okay, this is going to throw up a couple of tantrums because this is still initializing and it is not successful. It is not fully down. Okay, maybe it got up. It is now currently shutting down. That is it for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you stick around, and more stuff and content is coming up in just the near future. One important announcement: I've I'm currently planning to start off the live classes once again. So in case you guys are interested, please feel free to ping me on the number. My number is in the about section. You should, I mean, if you're interested, feel free to just ping me, and I'm going to conduct the live classes for you guys. Good day.